Welcome back to another virtual huddle episode. We got the Mark back. We got double hat K, double Yankee, double brim, double
Double
Knicks.
New York Knicks.
He's not a Knicks fan, by the way.
I am this series, bro.
But we got, obviously, finals preview. First game of the season these guys played. Spurs took it home by 2, 134-132. The
They
next
put
game was,
they
I'm
put
sorry, that was the
134
second
on the
game.
greatest defender. Go ahead, bro.
That was he only played 24 minutes that game. He had 31, 13, and one block. Calm little game, but that my fault. That was the second time they played. The first time they played was for the NBA Cup championship. The Knicks took that home 124-113. Another high scoring game on your guy K. He only played 25 minutes, came off the bench in that game. And then the final game of the season, March 1st, where they played 114-89 by the Knicks. Victor played 34 minutes, had 25, 13, 7 turnovers this game. But
Wait, who scored 89?
The Spurs, man.
Ideal.
That is not. But I think obviously we've seen growth from these teams, both teams from both sides since these games were played. So obviously I wouldn't take this, these breaks games with too much. But I think it'll be an interesting series. I don't think it'll be too long of a series myself. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, who doesn't like, if it goes 7, I'd love that. But how we feeling? I know I'm rocking with the Spurs and probably, I'm gonna say 5 just because I don't think they'll win 6 in
Wow,
the Garden.
Spurs in 5. Go ahead, Mark.
But yeah.
I think I'm going Spurs in 6. This may possibly be able to go 7. I had a little overreaction after the OKC game, but then I just I took the time to really think about this game, this series as a whole. I think Brunson will probably have a little bit more success than Shea simply because Wemby isn't going to be able to play drop on Jalen Brunson. Wemby's going to have to come up and not be in the paint, like Kay says. And I think that can just cause a lot of troubles off ball because of OG, McCall, Cat. There's a lot of offensive weapons. I also think that the Spurs are going to play different defensively than what they did in the regular season. I think it's going to be a lot of shading over to Brunson, not letting Brunson get going because I'm going to be honest, if I'm the Spurs, if OG kills me and has 25 points a game this series, hey, go
You
crazy.
can do that.
If McCall does the same thing, go crazy. I think my goal is to not let Brunson go crazy. Now, some win conditions for the Knicks, I think that the 5-out spacing thing they've been doing recently, that has to be to a T. If you're able to get Wemby out of the paint and Jalen Brunson can also put rim pressure on the Spurs, I think that's going to be y'all best win con. But defensively, Landry, Shamet, Brunson, and Cat on the floor in this 5-out lineup, that's going to be nasty. But
All right.
the Spurs definitely had some mistakes. So we going to see, but I got the Spurs in either 6 or 7.
I just got a quick question, Mark. Hold on. Quick question, though. You said something about these offensive weapons, right? And Wemby having to come up in the paint, get out drop coverage.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible that they put Wemby on Josh Hart, who's shooting 30% from 3 in the playoffs this year, who is an integral part of their team? And what I'm getting at is, does it come down to Josh Hart having to make shots or get taken off the court, which, isn't going to be good for their defense?
I think it's going to be a similar situation to most playoff series with a swing guy like that. One game, he might go 5 for 12, and then the next game, you're going to see 1 for 7. I think it's just going to be a swing with Josh Hart. I wouldn't just completely take him off the floor simply because of his defensive impact and just the impact on the floor he has in general with offensive rebounding and everything. But if it gets to a point where he's just not knocking down shots, I think Landry Shamet or Deuce McBride can insert themselves in. But I'm pretty sure how you said. I'm trying to see what Josh Hart is at. Yeah, he's shooting 30% from 3. I think I think he tuned it up later in
But
this.
real quick, while I look at this, you said something about putting Landry Shamet and Miles McBride in, right?
Yeah,
that's cool. Obviously, they have they're shooters, right? But I think that just gives you one more person at the hide on defense because I think the Spurs can put up a lineup that is going to be very tough for the Knicks to guard. And I mean, even their starting lineup, really.
Yeah.
I guess Fox might be a little bit easier for Brunson to guard. I don't know, he's fast, so that might cause an issue. But
Nah, he'll guard
I think,
Penny probably.
well, I mean, I'm talking about when they're hunting switches, But I just don't find it safe, I guess, for the Knicks to really put Miles McBride and Landry Shamet out there for long amounts of time when especially if they're not hitting a lot of shots because
Yeah.
I think they're both defensive liabilities. I mean, Dylan Harper, he seems like he can finish in the paint on anybody but Wemby, and Wemby's on his team. Castle gets to the rim, and I mean, he's dunking. Like people talk about Cat, I think Cat might get put in the rim this year. I think anybody that jumps with him might get put in the rim this year. They don't have anybody that's really up there except for Mitchell Robinson. I don't know what his pinky situation is, but we'll see that.
But he's a
But Mark, you
liability in himself anyway,
on
so
offense, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
I
gonna hack
think,
him.
but you said something about Josh Hart having, he might have one big game or something like that. He had one in the Cleveland series where he went 5 for 11 from three. Was that, yeah, 5 for 11 from three. He had another game 2 for 7, and then he had a game against Philly where he went 4 for 6. Outside of that, and the 2 of 4 game in Game 6 against Atlanta.
other than that, it's
But
been snowflakes, yeah.
it's, yeah, that's, and I mean with those
Damn, so
numbers
what
I've
other
given
game
you,
looking like?
that I'm saying in those games, and he's only
It's
shot
one
14
it's like
games. He's
one
still
it's like one
30%.
for it's like 1 for 5,
Yeah.
0 for 3, like,
0 for
it's
1, 1 for 5, 0 for 4, 1
yeah,
for
it's a
5,
lot of
1 for 4,
offers and 1
1 for
fers.
4. Yeah. I mean, even the 2 for 7, that's what, 280, 28%. So,
Mm. So, okay, Justin, to answer your question, I do understand what you're saying with like the defense, but I think like with the Spurs, their most like struggling times is when the floor is completely spaced out. That's when,
mhm,
especially if y'all remember the Timberwolves series, I went back to go like watch some clips. The most when they struggled the most is when the Timberwolves ran that spread lineup with Nas Reed at the 5. Even though defensively they were giving up a lot, they were also able to attack the basket and attack like even though the Spurs don't have mismatches, but
yeah,
they were able to attack better because Wemby wasn't there. I think the goal for any team now is to get Wemby out of the paint.
of
And
course.
I think the Knicks can do that. Now, will they be able to capitalize on getting him out the paint? That's where we gotta put shooting variance into play. But I'm not really I'm not really worried about them. I'm not gonna be like, you got Brunson and Cat on the floor, defensive liabilities, the game is over. Because they've been playing good defense so far, so I don't know. But I don't think that this series is just gonna come down to the Knicks' defensive liabilities. I just think their shooting has been too hot to not call it like real. Like 11-0 is that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think 11-0, obviously, that's impressive. It's the NBA. Like, it's the NBA and it's the playoffs. An 11-game win streak is nothing to, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's you won 11 games straight. That's impressive. I just obviously we know the West is way stronger, but I mean, even in that, they come into this series rested. I think health and is probably the most important thing at this point in the finals. I mean, we've seen years past where injuries, whether guys play the games or not, we've seen what it looks like when somebody's healthy versus they're out there on one leg. I mean, OG even, for example, if let's flash back to last year, right? When he was playing for Tibbs. I mean, he was probably playing what, 40 minutes a game, and I mean, you see how it deteriorated him over the course of the playoffs. I mean, they couldn't make it to the finals because they couldn't make it to the game, like, they were
Yeah.
hurt. So I think while I do believe that whoever comes out I said it from the jump, whoever comes out the West is gonna win because the East is just that weak. The health is gonna play a factor, and these are NBA players at the end of the day, and technically they're the best team in the East. Whether you want to count injuries, whatever the case may be, they're who are the East is presenting to the championship. So they're obviously not a rollover team. So they're gonna. I mean, for the Spurs to win, they're going to come out and play good and game plan all that. But I'm just not really sold on the Knicks others, and I'm not too sure about how Jalen Brunson is gonna do offensively.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna get his, but it's just kinda with Gobert and, Jokic, like, obviously, Jokic still if you look at the stats from that series, Jokic got his numbers, right? But if you watch the games, you see, like, they were able to put Gobert on that island, and, I mean, Jokic might have these points, these assists I mean, these points and rebounds, but the assists were kinda lower, or even if he had them, they were more like, they weren't the typical Jokic assists we were used to seeing where he just diamond and they're helping, he's throwing skip passes and all that, like, when you can have somebody that can stop their best player or not even stop, but make it tough for him one-on-one, like I think Stephon Castle can do, even Dylan Harper some, I think that's gonna be the kinda sign of how the series goes. If Jalen Brunson
mhm.
can demand help defense, I think the Knicks have a great chance of winning, but if he's getting guarded one-on-one the whole series, I think it'll be over quick.
So yeah, I agree with that. I think Jalen Brunson also is gonna have like a up and down series. I think it's gonna be some games where he looks amazing, and some games it's like, man, do we want this guy on the floor? My only counterpoint to that is, I think what people have like I think it's I'm not calling people slow, but I think with the Spurs being matched up against OKC made them seem like a better shooting team than they actually are. There are stretches where they aren't able to hit a shot. And it looks decent because you're going up against another team that can't hit a shot. So those big threes that you've seen from the Spurs, it's like it's cool against OKC, but when you going up against a real like shooting team that shoots, well, that hits 10 to 15 threes a game, those little 8 to 9 threes that you was getting against OKC, that's gonna look like
Now, to kinda go on to that, right? Obviously, I think somebody who comes to mind when we talk about Spurs and shooting woes, I think off rip Stephon Castle,
yeah.
just because how important it is for him to be able to shoot the ball. Now we talk about Josh Hart at 30%. He's at 36 right now. Stephon Castle is compared to his 24% in the regular season. Is that yeah, 24%, which is, I mean,
That's
kind of an
crazy.
abomination, but,
Yeah, that's crazy.
he turned it up for the playoffs. But he has some games like, 1 for 6. He has a couple, well, 1 for 6 or 1 for 6 or 1 for 5. Like his OKC shooting numbers, he only had one good shooting game. I guess he count the 1 for 3, 33%, cool. But he shot 3 for 5 one game, and then the last 2 games of the series, which they won after, being up for elimination, he was 0 for 2 and 0 for 3. So, like we say the law of averages has to happen. Like that's, kind of the theme in sports. Like your numbers are gonna kinda for the most part, there are guys who just excel like Landry Shamet right now. I don't know what he's shooting off the top of my head, but I know he's shooting the
Nah,
ball pretty well.
he's shooting a crazy percentage right now,
Yeah.
especially for that
Obviously
Cleveland series.
exactly. I mean, now these guys are pros. Obviously, they put in a lot of work. They can get hot, and that's how it goes sometimes. But more often than not, averages are averages for a reason. Like we could be looking at a gloomy series for Stephon Castle if he don't shoot the ball well. Because I mean, if they don't shoot the ball well, then the Knicks don't really have to shoot the ball particularly well, right? So that
Exactly.
means Josh Hart can stay on the floor, even if they have Wemby roaming off of him. The fact that okay, if you got Wemby going to help off of Josh Hart and contest a shot, guess who's coming to crash the boards? Their best offensive rebound. So I think it's going to be pretty much a matter of can Jalen Brunson guard it one on one, and can the Spurs hit enough shots to make the Knicks think about how many shots they have to hit. Because if the
Mhm.
Knicks can go out there and be like, "Oh, we'll throw Josh out there. If he hit one or two, whatever, we good." So I
Yeah,
think I think those would be the big factors.
I definitely agree, and then Imma let Kay go next after this. I think the Spurs shooting is like a extreme question mark for them because
Mm.
I think like to me their most deadly lineup is when they run all three of those guards, Wemby, and then they try to put like a spot up shooter out there like a Champagnie or even a Vassell because all of them can relatively guard, but that shooting, I'm just not because a lot of those shots, especially against like OKC, a lot of those shots either came in rhythm or they were like open spot ups from like Champagnie or Vassell. Everybody
Yeah.
else is like, and then when Vassell and Champagnie wasn't hitting, that's when the Spurs were losing. So
Yep.
and then you got nothing else on that bench like
Yeah.
Keldon Johnson, but
I mean, he's serviceable, solid. He'll give you good minutes
he's
here and there.
He
serviceable,
does
but
more screaming than everything,
yeah,
bro.
he's serviceable, but he's also like one of those role players that makes like bonehead decisions. Like he's either
Yeah.
really good one game or it's like I don't want to play you anymore the next.
And I think somebody who might have to play a role if they can. I mean, I think obviously if anybody can play good, it's great, right? But I think Carter Bryant, I wouldn't really call him an X factor, but I think he can get some valuable minutes. He's a big body, and I mean, the Knicks have OG, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges. Even I think those are guys that he can get some minutes on, and he might have to stop the bleeding sometimes, or just keep kind of have some good minutes here and there to keep the game flow going. But there's 2 things I kinda wanna, I guess, harp on, no pun intended. But that step back that Dylan Harper shot against SGA, I know, that was a big shot or whatever, but if he can get into that, I mean, I think the finals, any shot really can be a big shot, a big moment. It's the finals, it's what you wanna play for as an NBA player.
Yeah,
So I think these type of moments are gonna be the whole series. Like, obviously, there are gonna be moments that stick out more than others, but every moment is a big moment because it's the finals. You can't bat that down, and about, going more into that before K gets started, I just because I know he's gonna have a counter to this, but, I think it's gonna be up to Wemby to have a really good big series. Once again, I said Jalen Brunson getting guarded one-on-one. If they can take Wemby out the game offensively, obviously, I think they're gonna have a good chance. I saw some clips of OG of the regular season, how he was physical with Wemby. Don't know how that's gonna work now. I mean, obviously, like I said, people have gotten better. People have become, accustomed to things. I mean, we saw how the Thunder were doing Wemby, and they won that. So I think, Wemby's gonna have to show up. I think I'm a believer at this point. I mean,
Same.
the way their team is rolling, the camaraderie, I mean, how they reacted after the finals. Most times you would think like at first I'm like, bro, these guys crying. Like they ain't made they gotta get to the finals. But I think when you have a team that's that together and that it means that much, and I mean, obviously, in the back of our heads, we all think the Western Conference Finals was the NBA Finals, technically. But even still, like for them to react like that and how they all came together as a team and hugged and like I think that is something that, worthwhile, worth, paying attention to, but not to downplay the Knicks team chemistry because obviously they have, the Nova guys and then I'm sure they have a good team bond or whatever, but I don't know, bro. I think I'm on this Victor Wembanyama leader train. I think he's just going, I think he's gonna will these guys to the finals, a ring right here. But obviously, we got a I mean, my fault, Knicks fan down here. So let's let him get his in real quick.
Before I get started on Victor Wembanyama, I want to say I like the matchup because for one, it's a young team, a super young team. It's first the Knicks have a bunch of guys been in the league like 7, 8 years, and it's their first time making the finals. So they're probably feeling inside, man, this is our year. We have to get it done this year. Our chances, we might not have a large chance to get it back. While on the other hand, the Spurs, although they probably feel confident, but they probably thinking like, this is probably the first of many for us. So I think the Knicks are probably the most desperate team. I want the Knicks to win. I don't know. Last show I did pick the Spurs in 5, but I'm already gonna switch I can't fake it. I'm gonna switch my pick to the Knicks. I'm gonna go Knicks in 7. I just, I don't want to, put that out there. I'm rooting for the Spurs.
How do you do that, Kay? How do you go
I
from
just
like
can't root for the Spurs. I
That's
just can't root
crazy,
for the
bro.
Spurs. They're a dirty team to me. They flop. The only thing good I can say about the Spurs is I like their coach. I like their
Great
coach.
coach.
Why
Great
his
coach.
name? Why I'm drawing the blank? What's the
Mitch
coach's name?
Johnson.
Mitch
Mitch
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, this is his second year. Yeah, he took over for Popovich last year. I mean, Popovich, he got he had health conditions. I mean, I like Mitch Johnson. I like his passion. I like his fire. But as far as his team, I'm just not the biggest fan. I think they're exactly what a lot of people think Oklahoma City is. They flop. They they grab. They hold. Castle. We know Castle plays football.
Carter
And
Bryant.
Hold on, wait. Okay, hold on, okay, hold on.
Brian
Before
definitely
you
plays football.
No, I can't let you just act like the Knicks don't do the same thing.
The
Do
Knicks
they not
play
have a
football?
flopper? They got a flopper, right? And
Who,
I'm not
Brunson?
even an anti-flopper. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
yes, to
they have
like
a
to what you were
flopper.
trying to, yeah.
They
I don't
have
A
who they dirty
flopper?
guy?
they
Who's
got
their
a couple
dirty guy?
football players.
A
Who?
They got a
couple
couple football players
football
over
players.
there. OG a football player.
OG a football
Josh Hart
player?
a football player. Josh Hart is definitely a football player. OG just big and strong. I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah, I think
but
OG's,
Josh
yeah.
Hart is a football player.
Okay, I give you that.
So I mean, we look at the
It's
same.
they hey, but Justin, you know how they be, it's
Anybody on the
levels
Knicks
to
throw
it.
elbows? Anybody on the Knicks throw elbows?
They
No,
probably got 1 or 2 off.
no. I never seen a Knicks player look a guy in the eye and then elbow him in the neck. I never seen that.
And then not get suspended either, by the way.
And well, they found him 2000.
That's the natural
But
fine, bro. He got a flagrant too. What you want? They kicked him out the game. He ain't punched him. He would have punched
Hey
him. It
man,
might have been a different story.
I seen Draymond get suspended for less, man.
yeah,
Hey,
this
that's
is
Draymond. You
Mike
know how
Brown. I
that
think this
goes.
is Mike Brown's second finals appearance. He's been through a lot. He's been fired by Cleveland. He's been fired by the Knicks. I think he was fired by was he fired by Cleveland twice? I'm not sure, but he was
No, and
fired.
and another little eyebrow raiser we got here. If you don't remember where else he got fired from,
What?
Kings,
the Kings, who
De'Aaron Fox.
and the main antagonist for that was De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say there's bad blood, but I'm sure he got a little. He won't. I'm sure the game plan and the scouting report is a little more personal than the other players.
Yeah.
Which
I
nothing
think that
wrong
is
with
a
that.
conversation we need to have about coaching though. Like we gotta let these guys get settled in first
For sure,
before
that's a
just
whole
yeah,
nother
that's a
topic.
whole nother conversation. But
The way coach of the
yeah.
years have been getting fired, championship coaches have been getting fired, and then these teams are getting like let's to go to the Nuggets, for example, right? What's his name? Adelman. He looks like a
Yeah.
little kid. Like, no, sorry, I'm not even
Dave
going.
Adelman,
My
bro.
fault. That was crazy. But I mean, they got rid of Mike Malone, who he had some moxie to him. He was dissing players. He was just dropping nuts, for lack of a better words. And they got a ring. I don't know what, obviously it could have been more going on, whatever. But these guys, Dwayne Casey, he's not a coach anymore. He was the coach of the year. It's just a whole bunch of guys who are coach of the years. And I mean, now Mark, you might laugh at Dwayne Casey, whatever, but he wasn't the worst coach in the league. He didn't deserve to get fired, I don't think.
Okay,
And he's
I
deserve to
think
not have a job in the NBA right now.
I think
But
my problem with coaching is they will fire a seasoned/veteran coach and then bring in another seasoned/veteran coach instead of trying to build give a new coach a
like the Bucks.
infrastructure. For example, don't fire Brett Brown and then go get Doc Rivers. To me,
yeah.
that doesn't make sense. Get someone new in so you can build him up. But I think that's my major flaw. I don't even think we need to get too deep into it. But coaching firing is a problem to me. But congratulations, Miss Johnson. Congratulations, Mike Brown.
Both coaches in their
Hopefully,
first season.
yep. In their first
Yep.
season with the team. I don't know, man. I feel like this series is either gonna go 7 or the Spurs will win in 5 and the Knicks will have that one game like Allen Iverson where Jalen Brunson goes crazy or something. I I think it's either or. I don't see how the Knicks win this series unless injuries happen or someone doesn't perform. So we gonna see, man.
Hold on. We've done a lot of talking. There's one name that we haven't mentioned, I don't think, at all. Pretty big name we got. You know what I'm talking about, Kay?
I think he might be talking about Big Purr, bro.
Who, Karl Towns?
Yeah. Karl Towns. Karl Towns going to have a big game, bro. As much as, and I've said this before.
He
a
got
big
to stay out of
series.
foul trouble.
There we go.
For
Now,
those,
as much as I want to see
Castle gonna try to get him in foul trouble. Castle, Harper,
Harper,
they gonna
even
come down
Fox,
here.
Wemby, if he's going to be on him at some point in
Yeah.
time.
Well, the thing is, I know Cat not gonna pull a Chet though. Cat, if Cat is having a bad series, he gonna probably try to shoot some crazy stuff. He's gonna try to make some crazy passes. At least it's gonna look like he's trying, bro. That's all I care about, man. But you can continue with what you were about to say.
I can already see the
I'm just
look
gonna
on
say,
Pat's face when you get that third foul in the second quarter. I can already see the look on his face. He gonna pretend like he didn't foul, and then the replay gonna show a blatant foul.
he done got all this. Look, all this straight cross here, and But anywho,
crazy,
I think he has to have a good series. As much as I troll and mess with, talk about Cat, whatever, I will say this: as much as I want the Spurs and Wemby to get his, hoorah and his trajectory to be the most whatever. As much as I want that to happen, as much as I don't want the Knicks to win, if Cat takes home the Finals MVP, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think
I ain't
that's
gonna
gonna
lie.
happen, bro.
If that happens, if you tell me the Knicks win and Cat gets the Finals MVP, I'm good. The clips are gonna go viral. It's gonna be fantastic content. The summer gonna be crazy. The parade gonna be crazy. I'm rolling. But if not, which is not likely, I guess, because Brunson gonna have the ball most of the time. He's the best player.
Yeah,
I'm rolling with the Spurs still. But K is gonna have to play big in this series. He's gonna have to hit his shots. He's gonna have to stay out of foul trouble, like K said. There's no more rest now. Y'all done had all your rest, Cat. You might have to be touching 40 plus minutes every game. If that's what it takes to win.
especially with this Robinson injury, we don't really know too much about it. You're gonna have to touch 40 minutes a game, or they're gonna put Huck Porty out there, and hey man, we ain't even about to talk about that. But Justin, to your point, and I think this is one of the last points we can make. Let's get into legacy talk, man. What will a ring do for these people? I think personally, if I don't think it really does too much for the Knicks. I think it's just
You don't think so?
No, I think it's more of wow, we haven't won since Willis Reed and them.
53
Yeah,
years.
I think this is more of a Knicks. It'll be a bigger Knicks ring than a bigger ring
team.
for
It's a bigger
individual
team.
players.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, Jalen Brunson. The Knicks player, they'll love him forever, right? He'll be immortalized in Knicks
they'll
history,
do it
right?
now. Yeah.
Almost pretty much. But it's the fact that I don't think if the Spurs win, we're gonna be talking about Wemby, right? And whoever, Harper is gonna be a block. I think if the Spurs win, we're gonna be talking about Wemby and whoever that next player is gonna be, whether it's Fox, Castle, Harper, those two, or maybe three. Maybe it becomes a big three. I don't know.
Think it's just the trio with Castle and Harper.
It's gonna get run, that's gonna get pushed. But if the Knicks win, it's not gonna be unless Brunson just goes crazy.
The Knicks won.
It's gonna be the Knicks won, and Brunson was kind of the guy that push the Knicks to the ring. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just don't know if I agree more. I think this affects the Spurs legacy more than like individually than the Knicks. But I mean, I think if the Knicks, I mean, it's just like the Lakers and like I was talking about the LA teams in the football episode. And the Knicks are a big market team. Probably the Knicks and the Lakers, the two biggest markets.
Yeah.
If the Knicks win a ring, especially the first one in 50 years, I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be absolutely insane. But I will say, and I don't want to just discredit like the individual players on the Knicks.
Yeah,
I just think that the Spurs one have just more polarizing players. And also just to give a little bit of praise, I think like a guy like Jalen Brunson, he will definitely solidify himself as like a Hall of Fame guy. I don't know I don't know specific rankings. I'm not just about to throw rankings out there. But he could definitely like project or propel himself into like top 10 point guard conversations and just like Hall of Fame guard conversations.
yeah.
But everybody else, I don't know how that really affects them
Yeah,
for real. But
because it's gonna be I think the thing is, like, the Knicks are, like, a really good team, like, obviously, Jalen Brunson's the best player, but they don't have a guy that's gonna be okay, we talk about teams, right? You got LeBron and Luka out there. You got, Steph and KD when they were good. You got Steph and Clay when they were good. You got LeBron and Kyrie. You got, are you gonna be saying Jalen Brunson and Cat? Like, that don't really
yeah, it don't roll off the tongue. But
I don't
I'm
think they don't have, like, a second guy to produce, like, the star power to be like, "Hey, this is these 2 guys here."
exactly.
It's gonna be like, "Hey, the Knicks won, Jalen Brunson's the GOAT," and that's gonna be it. Ain't nobody gonna be thinking about Cat's ring and.
And I don't even think it affects like current rankings either. Like even if Jalen Brunson wins this ring, like I think he'll still be like in a similar place to where he is now or before. Like I don't think he'll be like a top 5 guy in the
Player.
league. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
don't think
dis
he'll be
But
well, okay, yeah,
on the
top
other okay,
5,
go
but
ahead.
yeah. I disagree. I think if Brunson wins this ring, man, if he takes down, this team, if he takes down Silver's team, bro, I think that means a lot to me because they are not the favorite. And we know how the Spurs got here, right? And think about the amount of pressure on the Knicks because the Knicks, there's a strong, of course, we can see the Spurs getting back easier than the Knicks. So in my head, I'm thinking
definitely.
this is do or die. So I mean, you got one shot, and you playing against this guy who's been heralded as the greatest defender of all time. So if you slay that giant, literally and figuratively, I feel like of course that'll solidify him in the Hall of Fame. Man, that will do wonders for his legacy because you got to think about it. He's a small guard now. Only so
Yep.
many small guards have led. He'll be the smallest guard to ever lead
Yeah,
the team.
he'll be the first like real small guard for
It is
real.
not like he have a stacked team full of superstars like Steph
Small
Curry
guard.
or Isaiah Thomas. Like this dude, the team will go as he goes. If Brunson doesn't show up, it's over. So
Okay, question. Did you just
Oh,
say
yeah.
Isaiah Thomas had a stack team?
the bad boy
No,
Pistons,
They were
I'm
they were fairly
asking.
hold on, but pause.
yes.
Don't
Okay.
act like that 2022 Warriors team, if Steph ain't go, they weren't gonna go, but that's beside the
They
point. Anywho.
wait. They had like
No, we're not
5 players who averaged double figures, bro. The Warriors fans can't rewrite history, bro. We
It's not
watched.
rewriting
I'm
history.
not about to. Yeah, we're not about to
We
do this
know,
now.
we know
I can
Steph. If
pull up
Steph
right
didn't play
here.
well in 2022, they weren't gonna win. That don't matter. The
Well,
averages don't.
that's
That's
best
not.
player.
We
I
saw the
mean,
games, bro. We watched the games,
But
bro.
but but
I
Justin,
saw
before
him
we
give
get
you a
it,
wide open. We actually watched it live, bro. But look, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Let me go to Wemby.
yeah.
Let me go to
No,
Wemby.
okay.
So
How do
if
you feel
Wemby
about
wins the
Wemby?
championship, I mean, well, first I want to say this, all the all-time great big man, they made the finals pretty early. I mean, Elijah One made it his 3rd year. He lost. Well, he faced a much better team than Wemby is facing, but he lost. Shaq made it like year 4. He faced a way better team than Wemby's facing, and he lost. Bill Walton, he made it in like 78. He faced, of course, a way better team than Wemby, but he won.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is we've seen big men show, come to the league, dominate, and, they showed up in the finals pretty early. And I didn't mention Kareem. Kareem won a title, I think, in his 2nd year. He came in 69. They won in 71. So that's just, that's what, the all-time great big men have done. If Wemby is the guy that you two tell me he is, he cannot lose this series. To Karl-Anthony Towns and the 5'8" Brunson, he just can't lose this series.
5'8".
He's supposed to be the best player. He's the one who finished, 3rd MVP race. He's the one who you guys have crowned as the greatest defender of all time. So Wemby has to win this series. All
He
that
doesn't
showing
have
up every
to.
other. Yes, he does. All that.
I don't think there's any
This
pressure
will
on the
be his
Spurs
easiest
for
ring, bro. I don't think you'll face a weaker team than the Knicks, bro.
That could be
I
true.
don't know how the East look. Man, the
But I
Knicks.
I don't
think
think you'll
K,
face a team this week.
To your point, I do believe now. I could see you loading up if Wemby don't win. I could see that coming. I get that, right? I agree that they
Definitely.
should win, right? I agree that they're the favorite. They should win, but I just don't think, honestly, if either team loses, I don't think there'll be negative PR either way, right? I
Well,
think if the
yeah, of
Knicks
course.
lose,
Wemby PR will
obviously,
never be negative, bro.
but still, like if
I agree with that though.
yeah,
I
for sure.
definitely agree with
Yeah,
that.
he
I ain't gonna
obviously we've
lie.
seen it. I mean, he's gonna have to do a lot more dirty plays to get on that side,
Wemby
but
elbowed somebody and they were praising him, dog. Like
it was tough.
I ain't never seen some
He
stuff like
shows
that
that
before.
grit.
That's
But nah, on a serious note, I think obviously this will only be a stepping stone for Wemby. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in the grand scheme, this will only be seen as a stepping stone or a roadblock in his career if he loses. And for the Knicks, I mean, it's just the Knicks. They lost to the best team out the West. I mean, we didn't think, at least I didn't, coming into the season, coming into the playoffs, coming to anything, didn't think a team out of the East was gonna win the championship.
Yeah.
I kind of changed a little bit once Jalen, I mean not Jalen, Jason Tatum came back looking kind of solid. I was like, these Celtics might, if they can get out of the East, they might put up a solid fight because by that point Tatum would be, probably up to speed. But obviously we saw he could never get there. He got hurt, and well, I wouldn't say he got hurt, but there was a hiccup, and obviously it's not worth the risk. We've seen it. He just tore his Achilles last year, shut that down, which I'm glad they did because he needs to be healthy next year. But yeah, I guess just to sum it up, I mean, I'm excited. I think it should be a good series, whether it goes longer or not. I think the games will be at least
I got
entertaining.
Knicks and 6.
you
Knicks
just
and
had him in
6. They close
7,
it out
bro.
in the Garden.
This
I'm
is
about to say,
Same,
K,
crazy, bro.
Brunson.
you
Same
said Knicks in 7
Brunson.
earlier.
Huh?
I don't think you said Knicks in 7 earlier. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
possibility.
I
The
think
same
that.
way that I think the Spurs can't win in 6. Like I'm thinking, like the same way when I was looking at the 2016 finals as a Warriors fan, looking at this 3-1 lead, like, hey, we lost game 5. Dang, we lose game 6. I mean, we're not winning game 6. I knew for a fact like in these kind of series, these hype series, these big series, I mean, the Knicks are not gonna lose game 6 on their home floor unless just something crazy happens, I think.
Wait. The great Victor Wembanyama can't go close it out on the road?
Bro.
We just did. He
That's what
just
I'm saying.
did.
You do it again.
I'm not saying
Bro,
he
Thank
can't,
you.
but I don't think it's like the same way. I think if it goes 7, I think the Spurs win. If it goes 6, I think the Knicks win. If it goes 5, I think it's right. I think it's just gonna end on somebody's home court. That's just how I feel. But, unless the Knicks come in here and roll over or obviously injuries, I don't see the other team closing out on the other team's home.
so last thing before we end it off here. Okay, if Wemby go crazy and he win Finals MVP, are you gonna give him like
First of
some props
all,
or nah?
if he goes crazy every game, he's every other game, man. If he has one day of rest, he can't show up. So it's not. He only had 22.7 in the game 7, and he won.
His defense alone, he can have. I'm being genuine, bro. He can have 5 points. His defense alone is crazy impactful. So it's
Did
like
you see Shea get that shot with it was like what 24 seconds left? He got fouled. I don't know how it would have worked if he tried to shoot it, but Fox went for the reach in foul. He was passing to Lou Dort because Wemby was looking at him like
it's
Lou Dort.
crazy, bro.
He's 8 foot tall. I give you that. I've never denied he's 8 foot tall. I mean, he's tall. Yeah. I mean, but I feel like I want him to show up every game. I'm not gonna give you credit for showing up 3 games out of 4. And you have to show up. You have to take over on offense and defense. If you're what the people have told me he is, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Okay, so okay, all I need is if he lives up to your standard. I'm not gonna say if he plays great. If he lives up to your standard, are you gonna start like actually respecting Wemby instead of saying, "Oh, he's 7'5", he's supposed to do this"? Like, can you like?
Well, first of all, let me take you. Remember the last video? I said what I said. I want to see great players do. I want to see great players beat great teams, right? So I mean, the Knicks,
Yeah.
they aren't a great team. OKC, healthy, they were a great team, but we just never got to see it. So I mean, it's early. So I mean, he only in year 3. This is his first time in the playoffs. But I just want to, I'm not gonna crown you if you beating weak team. Like that's not, you just
Okay,
did
what
you
weak
supposed
team?
to do.
What weak team did he beat?
The Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are alright. They're kind of like on a
AK,
Cinderella run.
You got
AK,
them
look, bro, look,
winning.
hold on,
Anybody pick
pause
the
though,
Knicks out of the East
pause,
before
Mark,
huh?
pause, real quick. I don't like this narrative of weak teams and because you can only play what I can't go pick who I play.
Yeah.
He can't go heal Halliburton and get that Pacers team from last year. He can't go get the Celtics and bring them back. He can't go get the Cavs. He can't go get the Pistons. He got to play who's there. And I mean the same way out the West. I mean out in the East. Like I can't say the Knicks only. I mean I said it going into the playoffs. That's why I kind of stand on it. But I'm not. I don't say that in a hateful way. I'm like the East was weak. If I said this from the jump, if they didn't make the finals, it was a failure because how much they invested into their team, how much they put into their team, and it was supposed to be them, the Pacers, and the Celtics, right? Like that was gonna be
Mhm.
like the head of the
This
East
was
for the
their
next
only
couple years.
opportunity for real too.
And there's injuries to take those other top two teams out of there, two out of those three out of teams. So you gotta be up top. You mean so like while they handle business, well, I'll say this. I said they should be there, but they've handled business, so I have to give, respect to that, right? Same way Wemby. I mean, not to go, we're not gonna get into this tangent, but about Steph Curry in 2022, you said they're playing drop coverage. Steph had to hit shots. I don't care what you do, people have to hit shots, people have to make plays. Like you can't just you don't games aren't just won when throw the ball up in the air. You have to play that 48 minutes. So I think,
I get
while
what you're saying.
there are
And
favorites,
I
I mean, these are
agree.
I
NBA
hope
players. You know what I
SGA to
mean?
the same standard. I haven't seen SGA, beat a team on his level yet. So it's not just Wemby. I just want to see it. That's all. I just want to see
But I
it.
mean, K, how many teams are even, really?
Well, that last series was pretty even before the injuries, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like lately, it's just been so many finals mismatches. Like I was saying, like the last time we got like superstar players on both sides of the finals, bro. Because we had the Lakers versus the Heat, the Bucks versus the Suns, the Warriors versus the Celtics, and then the Heat versus the Nuggets. Like I mean, then SGA versus the Pacers. Like you know what I'm saying? These are not
Yeah.
superstars on both sides. That's what I'm saying. Like
It don't have
that's
to be
just what I'm
super
used
if
to
the
seeing. Like
teams are.
superstars on both sides. You used to have Curry,
Yeah.
Durant, LeBron, Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see superstars on both sides. That's what I'm saying.
true.
Like
Your point, though, wait, but
Those
I
teams
think,
weren't.
okay, it's also said